happen in everyday life, and people kind of miss it. But we'll get into that a little bit later. First off, there's something I want to kind of address. The last show I did was called Howling After Dark Rant. And in that show, I was going off about a situation that came to my attention. A man being falsely accused of doing things in our community that aren't exactly kosher. And I went off about that because the gentleman, Evan, whatever, that was accusing him, well, that's just a total douchebag thing to do, first of all. Falsely accusing anyone just to, like, further your own ambitions is just bullshit. I mean, let's call it like it is. It's just bullshit. Yeah, I kind of went off about that, and I ranted. Lived up to that name, I guess. And so after that show, I was actually messaged by Dave Goldinger, the guy that was being accused, and he was so, like, disgusted about everything that he almost quit. He almost quit his team, quit the business entirely. He almost gave up the Stagecoach Inn and all of that stuff. And I had a very heartfelt conversation with him about it and pointed out that he couldn't do that. He couldn't allow people like Evan Jensen, who... And I found out, by the way, that this whole Evan Jensen thing happened like a year ago. That it's somebody new starting shit up again. That fellow by the name of John Albrecht. And so to him, I'm going to say the same thing that... hold on one second. Anyways, so, I'm going to say the same thing to him that I said to Evan, that if you want to continue with this bullshit, ruining people's names simply to further your own goals, to gain popularity and whatnot, I'm fucking coming after you. It's as simple as that. I will not stand for bullying, especially not in our paranormal field. It's not going to happen. Okay, so, fair warning there. And I'm glad that I could talk Dave out of, quitting and giving everything up. He's a good guy. And I honestly did have my doubts, in the beginning, wondering if maybe there was some truth to it. But after talking to him, there's just no freaking way. There's just no way. I mean, if you get to know this guy, if you spend more than like 5 minutes with this gentleman, you'll see that it is bullshit. So, yeah. So I just wanted to address that real quick before we get into the meat of tonight's show. I want to welcome, first off, and foremost, everybody into the chat room that is there now. Hello, welcome. Glad you could be here. Reagan, and I'm sure Jeremy is probably there somewhere. And just on the off chance, I've been doing something that I haven't done in a while. Uh, there's a chat program called Palace, and it's a 2D or 3D virtual visual chat program. It's actually really cool, and I was on that years ago when it first started, and I started doing that again and kind of reconnected with some people. Uh, and on the I did invite them, so on the off chance any of you, my pals, friends and family are here tonight, I say to you, welcome, uh, and I hope you enjoyed the show. All right, getting on with it. I want to share with you guys. Ah, right on. Hi, sweet. I want to share with you guys something that just happened to me like just last night. And originally I was going to do like Bigfoot or UFOs or something. I don't know. And but that changed last night. Actually, I wasn't feeling very good, and I was kind of sick and wasn't feeling well. So I went to bed, and I woke up probably just a couple hours after I fell asleep. And it was almost like that sleep paralysis phenomenon that a lot of people are experiencing, where they can't really move, and then they kind of see like that shadow figure in like one corner of the room. It was kind of like that, except for there was no shadow figure. And it was just very, very strange, and I didn't really think much of it. Um, I thought maybe I just laying wrong, and like my body had gotten numb or what have you. And so I kind of wrote it off and went back to bed. And then when I went back to bed, what happened was I went to sleep and I had this dream. It was so incredibly vivid. Like it was so vivid. It's like one of those dreams that was so vivid you couldn't really tell it was a dream. And it was just like that. Only the difference was, it's like everything that was playing out regardless of what I wanted to happen. And it was actually a pretty awesome thing that I saw, because what was happening is I kind of saw, all of us on my team, Ghosts of Paranormal, I kind of saw all of us together in this huge ghost town up in the mountains. And it was like some nondescript time, some nondescript place. I'm guessing it's probably one of the ghost towns up in Montana because of how well it was maintained. It was possibly even Bannock, now that I think about it. But regardless, we were there, and it wasn't just us like it usually is. We were actually being followed around by a TV crew. And so, I've learned over the years, because, I am a shaman, I'm a medicine man. So visions and premonitions and whatnot are, just kind of par for the course. It happens all the time. And so I realized that that's, kind of what this was. So, and I've been saying since, I started this team like 3 years ago that we were going to be huge. And we have already gotten an offer for a TV deal. That I unfortunately I turned down because here's the thing, right? I've always taken a very particular stand and it's how I've kind of conditioned, I guess, my team to be that the paranormal is nothing to be afraid of. And so we don't approach it from a place of fear. And we're not the type of people that are going to ham anything up for ratings, like they do on most paranormal shows, like Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters, what have you. And I've always said that if we ever did get a TV deal, it would be under our terms. We'd be in complete creative control of the show. And that's the only way we would do it. And I think what this dream was telling me is that that's actually going to happen. This isn't, by the way, the first time I've ever had a dream like this. Or a vision, actually. Well, actually, before I go any further, let me explain what the difference is. Okay? Because a lot of people are unaware of this. The difference between a vision and a premonition is that a vision can happen when you're awake. And a vision can also be extremely straight forward like a premonition, which separates it from like a prophetic dream. Because a prophetic dream, most of the time, are like puzzles that you kind of have to piece together to figure out what it's trying to tell you. Whereas with a vision, it's very straightforward. It's this is this, this is this, this is this. There's very little interpretation required. And so, I have had visions like this before. I actually, kind of a cool story, actually. I was kind of taking a break from the whole paranormal thing. This is back in like the early 90s, I guess. I was living in California, and me and my friends would all get together and go camping every once in a while. We just pick some like random spot and go. But we always tried to go to some place we hadn't really been to yet, but had always heard about. And it was kind of my turn to pick, and I'd mentioned this place called Alpine Caves. It's in Alpine, California. It's part of San Diego County. And the interesting thing about Alpine Caves that I didn't know when I'd mentioned it was that those caves aren't actually caves at all. What it is like a long, long time ago, there was like a landslide, and these cave formations are actually like the spaces in between the boulders that had fell down the mountain and then had kind of like piled up on each other. So they're not a cave or a tunnel in the traditional sense. But I didn't know that. I'd always heard people talking about Alpine Caves, but I didn't know anything about it. And so, like a week before we ever went there, I had this vision or premonition, whatever you want to call it, of Alpine Caves, and it was exactly what was there. I was describing to my friends before we even saw the place this one room. It's like a big cavernous room where all these boulders fell that a bunch of people had spray painted graffiti on. And I described to them the graffiti all the way down to this kind of like weird, kind of Chinese looking, actually, kind of like a smiley face that was painted on this boulder right up on the ceiling. I'd never been there before, and I described it to a T. before I even saw the place. I mean, my friends were absolutely blown away by this. They couldn't believe it. And they all, of course, they all looked at me a little bit differently after that. Which, I'm kind of used to that by now. But, it happens to me all the time. And so, I don't know. I'm feeling great about this. I'm feeling really pumped up and really motivated. And that's the thing that should be taken away from any of these kind of visions, these prophetic dreams, or these premonitions, is that they're not meant to scare you. They're not meant to instill fear. Fear is the mind killer, folks. Frank Herbert was absolutely fucking right when he wrote Dune and stated that in his book. Fear is the mind killer. There is no doubt about it. That's why we don't use fear in any shape or form in what we do. We just don't do it because fear makes you stupid. And it also makes you vulnerable. So, yeah, we just don't fucking do it. We always, like every investigation we've ever done, and it doesn't matter where it is, we've done it in such a way that we're approaching the spirits or whatever's there with respect. We're not trying to provoke them, because provoking, first of all, like I said, like some of you have heard me say like a million fucking times, provoking is absolutely unnecessary and just straight up stupid. I mean, if it is not something you would say to a stranger in their home, do not fucking say it. It's as simple as that. Because people need to understand that what you're dealing with are essentially people. They're just not people in a physical form anymore. So it's just, provoking is stupid, and honestly, just to kind of get this out of the way, the paranormal TV shows have done just as much harm as they've done good. And they have done quite a bit of good, because it's kind of brought, like, the attention of the world onto the paranormal, but kind of in the wrong way, because it's... I've dealt with so many, like, new fucking teens that think provoking is the thing to do just because they saw it on TV. And it's just not fucking true. I'm sure a lot of you out there have seen Ghost Adventures a time or two. Maybe you even saw the episode where they went to the Mansfield Reformatory in Mansfield, Ohio, which I've been to also. It's like an hour from my house. But, and they provoke. They provoke all the time in that fucking show. And I actually love that show. But I love it for entertainment reasons, not because I think it's the thing to do. So, anyways, I went to the Mansfield Reformatory. There were 7 other teams there that night. It wasn't just our team. And every other team was provoking, because that's what they saw on TV. They think that's the thing to do, and we didn't do that. I came in there and I said, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and yell at you and try and provoke you into doing anything. I believe that you did your time, and I'm just here to communicate. And boom, the second I fucking said that, these shadow apparitions started coming out of their fucking cells. We were up on the 3rd tier on the east wing. They started coming out of their cells, like right up on us. We started getting EVPs that were Class A. I mean, like, that's about the best you can ever get. And the visual and audio evidence was out fucking standing. And we were the only team there that night to get anything. So, I'm just saying. Anyway, so, throughout my life, and I think it has a lot to do with kind of like being from a shamanic or whatever bloodline. And it's not even just Native American thing, by the way. Every culture in the world at one point or another has had people like this. In the Christian faith, they were called prophets. In Africa, they're called, whatever tribal word they have for witch doctor, and even the Aboriginal people have their shaman or medicine men, whatever they're called, and throughout time, these people have had these dreams that have not only kind of prophesied the future in many cases, but have in many, many ways been responsible for the direction that their tribe or their people have taken. Case in point would be Crazy Horse. Crazy Horse wasn't a war chief originally. Originally, he was considered a shaman or a medicine man, and he had been getting visions of what was to come, and his visions were telling him what to do. And because of him, rather than being completely decimated practically overnight by the white cavalry that was coming into their territory, they survived for years. Same thing with Sitting Bull. Sitting Bull originally was not a chief of his tribe. He was a medicine man. He was a holy man, basically. And his visions led the way. It was largely responsible for the defeat of Custer at Little Bighorn, in fact. But, in this modern day and age, people have been taught from a very early age that these things are impossible, that they can't happen, that people that talk about this stuff are liars or thieves or whatever, and they've been told and taught this very, very close-minded, not even just a skeptical, but a very close-minded point of view. And to be honest with you, as I've said before on this show, to those of you that have been here before, and for those who haven't, you're going to hear it for the first time. I feel very sorry for people that don't believe. I really do. Like, in my heart hurts for them, because I've been gifted with the ability to see the spirit world. Have since an early age, and I see all the time how beautiful the spiritual world, the paranormal world, whatever you want to call it, truly is. And yeah, there's ugliness there too. There's ugliness in everything, but it's far more beautiful than anything else, and people miss out on that because we've taught our children from since they were little that, oh, well, monsters don't exist. Or that imaginary friend of yours is just that, an imaginary friend. But here's the facts, people. Animals and children, I would say children under the age of 10, see more clearly than any of us do. So, and that's kind of what separates these tribal, or some would even call it mistakenly primal beliefs. And today is that they believe that they were much like children, that they could just write off as just being a kid. Well, much in that vein, they're like, oh well, they were primitive. First of all, to those motherfuckers, let me just say something, okay? I want to point something out. The Anasazi, which is a Native American nation that existed in this country, irrigation. They had farms that existed in the fucking desert. Calling that primitive does not exactly fit. Okay, Sweet, who's a friend of mine from Palace Chat, said, so very much agree. Remind me to tell you all about my story. Would love to hear it. That's one thing, by the way, folks. I will read your questions, statements, whatever you want on the air. I have absolutely zero problem doing that. Or if you want me to keep it to myself, I'll do that too. But I'm very open about this stuff. And I've always kind of been that way. I'm not really afraid of what other people think. I know there's skeptics out there. I know there are closed-minded people out there. They just don't. I have zero interest in convincing anybody of anything. I don't want to change people's mind. The only thing I could hope to do on this show is to open it a little bit. It's as simple as that. So, yeah. Anyways, back to these premonitions and visions and stuff. I've had these things periodically throughout my life, and it always seems kind of random. But like when it does happen, something major, some major change is about to take place, and here's another thing that people don't understand about these things. Just because like I have a vision about something doesn't make it set in stone. What a vision is actually doing is it's giving me control over what's going to happen, possibly. It's not that it's going to happen, it's that I can make it happen, or I can change my course, or, it's almost like an early warning system in a way. And everybody of the shamanic or medicine man kind of bent are like that, and there's so many examples of that throughout history that actually, led people to greatness. It happened with the Romans. The entire Roman Empire people happened because what they called an oracle, which is basically the same thing as a shaman or a medicine man, had a vision about this great empire that was going to cover the known world at the time. Genghis Khan, another example. And I could go on and on and on and on. But somehow, like in quote unquote modern time, we've kind of collectively fooled ourselves into believing that it doesn't matter. To people that don't believe that don't think that the paranormal world is real, I just feel sorry for you. I really do, because you're missing out on so much. But like I said. But and by the way, for the new people in our chat room, as you could probably tell already by now, I cuss a lot, especially when I'm passionate about something. So just be forewarned. Oops, probably should have said that first. Now, 1 sec. But I do believe that we recently got some EVP evidence that supports these visions I've been having about the future of my team and where we go from here. That I've noticed, especially over the past couple investigations that we've done. In fact, I think I'm going to play one for you guys right now. Let me just find it real quick. Let's see. Where is it? For you real quick. We're not going to play a lot of them. I just wanted to share this one with you. I believe it's this one. Takes a minute to load, so. This is from a residential case that we did. Probably like a month or two ago, I think. And, because it's residential, I can't tell you where it is, because we protect our clients' privacy, But it does bring up a good point. As a practicing shaman or medicine man, whatever you want to call it, I've done over 400 successful house cleansings to date. That means that I've come in, I've cleansed negative spirits out of the house and never once had to be called back. Over 430 times in 25 years. So people told me that's pretty impressive, so I'm just saying. All right, here we go. This is the residential case we were doing. We were down in these people, their basement. So here we go.
I heard Jan again.
It was Jan?
Is the name Jan?
Okay, thank you.
I heard Barbara again. Who's Barbara?
Okay, that might have been a little hard to hear because we were kind of asking questions, but I'm going to play this again, back it up just a little bit. But it literally said through what you're hearing, by the way, isn't a natural EVP. In other words, it's not an actual um, like EVP. What it is, it's coming to your device like a spirit box, which uses white noise that they can audibly speak through, so that we can hear it in real time. And what it says, and I've played this over and over and over again, is it says, "You be on TV."
Who's Barbara? Who's Barbara? Who's Barbara?
You be on TV. Sorry, I was a little laughing at something in chat. Sweet said, "What? You cuss? No way. I'm out of here." um, so, yeah, they seem to be supporting uh, what this vision has told me about our future and stuff. And I don't know, it's kind of weird. Like, I want us to be on TV, sort of, but, like, not for the reasons I think most people would want to be on TV. Like, I'm not really concerned with, like, fame or wealth or anything like that. I've never been like a materialistic person. Um, the reason I want to be on TV is because I kind of want to shine a light on these places that haven't been on TV, that are haunted, and they're historical haunts at that. Most of them that haven't been have been kind of ignored because they haven't been on TV yet. And that's why we do our web series on YouTube, Forgotten Ghost Towns, because that's always kind of been a big goal of ours. And I don't know. Okay, so for the new people that are here tonight, I want to explain. I am broadcasting over Spreaker, okay, but it only allows me to broadcast 45 minutes at a time per session. And so what I do is I do more than one session. So here in about 4 minutes, I'm going to go off the air. But don't go anywhere. I'm coming right back with part 2 of tonight's show. So it ain't over just because it stops. I do normally 2 sessions. I'll sometimes do a third, but I'll always tell you first. So, anyways, yeah. So, the thing is like I think that visions and stuff like this, I think it happens to everybody. I don't think like I'm that special, really. I mean, other than the fact that I see like not just ghosts but spirits in general. and have since I was 5 years old. Other than that, I don't think I'm that special, really. I mean, yeah, I know how to be a shaman and all that, but anybody could do that. Like literally anybody could do that, and I think visions and stuff, it happens to everybody. It's just that uh, almost everyone has been taught to kind of write it off as, oh well, it's just a dream or whatever. And so I think people should pay more attention to this stuff. I think if they did, a lot of people would be a lot more happier in their life than they already are. Um, and I'll give you some key examples of that when we come back, uh, of people that I'm sure you know that have embraced their visions, their premonitions, whatever they choose to call them, and have allowed them to shape their life in surprising ways. And you'll hear about those celebrities when we come back in just about, I got about a minute 35 left in this session, so just don't want to go off. It's not over. Reagan said that EVP clip. She said that her husband Chris said it says you eat babies.